The 2020 Democratic field is the largest and most diverse ever, but as fall turns to winter, just 4 candidates, all of them white, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg, have significant support in the latest CNN national poll. 7 more registered between 1% and 3%, including Kamala Harris, whose fall from the top tier has been dramatic. She was at 17% in CNN's June poll immediately after a widely praised debate performance, good enough at the time for second place. Now she's at 3% nationally, and the picture isn't much prettier in the early states. The California senator is running out of money and has laid off much of her staff, but says there's still time for a comeback story.
When you look at least 3 of the top people on the ticket, they've been on the national stage for decades. They're well known. They are for that reason familiar. And the challenge that those of us who have not been on the national stage before, those of us who have not run for president before, is to make ourselves known.
So she's been running since January, almost a year now. Is the problem that she isn't well known enough?
I think part of the problem has been messaging. We had a story yesterday detailing problems within her campaign, how the campaign was managed. A lot of her campaign came from California, and most of their experience was running races in that state, which is really different than running a national presidential campaign. And certainly California looks very little like Iowa. I think the question is going to be whether she can make a comeback story and get into that top tier of, 4 or so candidates who have been up there for a number of weeks kind of fighting it out at the top. But she has a lot of competition. Senator Cory Booker is trying to get up there. Senator Amy Klobuchar is trying to get up there, and she feels that she has a little boost of clomentum that could happen for her. I mean,
Did you just coin that?
What?
Did you
I just coined it.
Yeah.
It just happened right here.
Heard it here first.
We'll have to see whether any of them can transition into that top tier, but time is ticking away, and clock is counting down.
Yeah, definitely. And part of her issue is money. She doesn't have enough money to put ads on the air in those early states. The headline, brutal headline really, from the New York Times, Dan, how Kamala Harris's campaign unraveled. In one instance after another, Ms. Harris and her closest advisors made flawed decisions about which states to focus on, issues to emphasize, and opponents to target, all the while refusing to make difficult personnel choices to impose order on an unwieldy campaign, according to more than 50 current and former campaign staff members and allies, most of whom spoke on condition of anonymity to disclose private conversations and assessments involving the candidate. 50 people went on there. That was a stunning, I think, example of the turmoil in her campaign and how folks are worried about its future.
Yeah, that was a very good piece. I think that, though, when you get to the core of the issue, it is that Kamala Harris, it's not that she's not well known, it is that she hasn't defined herself in a way that people know who she really is. Obviously, they've had intrigue in the campaign, clashes in the campaign. Those are commonplace in a campaign that's struggling. But she hit turbulence in that debate in Detroit when she tangled with Joe Biden. She hit him first in the one early debate, then he hit her. She's never fully recovered from that, and she's tried a variety of messages and ideas and things, and it hasn't come together. In a race like this, you never say anybody's out of it because surprises happen, but when you go down like that, it's very difficult to come back up quickly.
And consistency, Sunmin, in terms of the messaging, a really difficult thing for her. And lately, she has been arguing that she's in the best place to bring the Obama coalition back together again.
Exactly. But, I mean, and Dan's point about not being able to define herself has been really one of the big problems for her. We talked earlier about Elizabeth Warren's issues with health care. Kamala Harris has had her own issues with whether you fully embrace Medicare for all. We saw that moment where she said, yep, get rid of private insurance.